Hey everybody, welcome to Tifinity TV. If you are new to the channel, thank you for watching. Please go ahead and smash the like button and most definitely hit subscribe. Turn on the notification bell to be sure you catch all the latest uploads and show recaps. So let's get right into it. We are talking about Grownish Season 4, Episode 10, and it is an emotional one. Look at Zoe's face. So let's get right into it. So we have Aaron, Zoe's boyfriend. He's at a diner all alone, contemplating what just happened with his friend, Luca. So if you watched the last episode, they are at a luau party. Luca walks up next to Aaron, and Aaron just socks him right in the jaw. Zoe sees it, and she's like running after him, like, what are you doing? What was that? And he's just like, leave me alone. Go back to the party. And so now he's sitting there devastated. He's driving, thinking like, oh my God, what did I do? He's just doesn't know what to do. He's so devastated. Zoe goes after him, and she's looking all through the house, calling his name. And I mean, she's going from room to room. Of course, she's a concerned girlfriend, right? She just saw what happened and she wants to talk to him about it, but he's not there. So she stands outside. She's calling him on the phone, looking for him. Clearly, he made it home safely. Don't drink and drive. But he's not picking up the phone. He's literally sitting in his car. Just doesn't want to face Zoe, doesn't want to talk about the whole incident and what happened. I mean, he's basically being a coward and not confronting the issue. And so she just decides to go ahead and leave since he's not answering the phone. And he's just sitting there in his car. So his boys come over, Doug and Vivek, they come over to the house. And they're like, dude, what was that? Like, you socked Luca in the face. Like, bro, what are you doing? And Aaron's like, but you're smashing his sister, so you don't have nothing to say. Zoe goes to her parents' house and runs into her grandparents and starts to tell them about what's going on. So she needs advice. Meanwhile, Jazz is talking to her sister and also has her boyfriend, her new boyfriend. Well, we can't really call him a new boyfriend, but her love interest, or the guy she's seeing at the moment, Dez. So Dez is a queer guy. He likes to wear dresses. And so she's kind of wrestling with whether or not that's something she can get with or not. But he's telling her here that he really, really likes her. He's into her, and he can see himself really, really being in a relationship with her. And she clearly is feeling him too. She likes him too. But I think that one little issue is what's on her mind. And so she basically just tells him she's gotta go. And so meanwhile, we go back to the house where Zoe's talking to her grandparents, and they're telling her, you didn't consider Aaron's feelings when you took the internship with Luca. And she's like, oh, at this moment she realizes, yeah, I see my error. I see what I did here. And so we jump over to Ana talking to Nomi, and Nomi tells her, guess who I saw basically getting drunk and, having fun out in a bar with his friends. And Hannah's like, who? And she said, my baby's daddy. And Anna's like, well, I mean, you guys should probably talk. You probably should let him know, that you need him around, and she's like, I don't talk to him. I don't care. He's the one that should initiate conversation if he really wants to be around his daughter. And Anna's basically telling her, like, you should really try to be open instead of just shutting him completely out. So Nomi's thinking about it we'll talk about what she does with that information later. Meanwhile, Anna goes to the refrigerator, sees a beautiful bouquet of flowers, and she reads the card. And it's from Vivek. Vivek says, "Thank you for the time inside you. With love." And Anna's face says it all. She's humiliated. So now we're going to jump back over to the house with Aaron and the boys, and they're telling him, dude, you need to figure out what you're going to do with Zoey, if you guys are going to be together or not. And, he's like, obviously I love her, I care for her, but it's just some other issues going on that I just don't want to confront right now. And Vivek is like, look, I'm a ladies' man. I'm getting it in. Y'all don't understand. I know how this whole thing goes. And Doug is looking at him like, are you really? He's like, yes, this is what I'm telling you to do. You need to tell Zoey how you feel. You need to tell her where your head is at. You need to get it together, man. So he's giving them some pretty good advice, actually. So he's telling them, like, this only one thing you got to do. You got to just talk to Luca and tell him how you feel, get the air cleared so that you guys can move on. And Doug co-signs. He basically says, yeah, man, you need to go ahead and clear the air and get things resolved so that you can move on. So he's like, all right, y'all are right. Okay. So he's like, I know it's only one thing I can do. I just got to go handle my business. So he goes over to Luca's house, knocks on the door. Luca opens the door, and you see the bruise on his face. And he's looking at him like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Like, you socked me in my face, bro. So his boys show up, and they're like, hey, we're just here to make sure nothing else goes down. We want y'all to talk it out. Y'all are friends. And so Luca realizes, all right, it's cool. That's his boy. He's like, all right, we gonna chit chat and see if we can fix this thing. So meanwhile, we go back to Zoey talking to her grandparents, and she finds out some interesting information about her grandmother. She apparently had a relationship, a little fling with Johnny Gill, and that ensued an argument between them. But she realized, like, hey, if they can argue and get past their stuff, so can I. So she knows what she needs to do. And meanwhile, we jump over back to Jazz, who's talking to her sister, and she's FaceTiming her, telling her, hey, I'm having this conflict with Dez. I don't know if I really want to be with him. I actually was about to break up with him, but we had a really good night together, and now I'm really starting to feel him. And she's like, thinking, what should I do? And her sister's like, well, you told me to get with a whole white man, and it worked out. So maybe, and I was out of my comfort zone, so maybe you need to jump out of your comfort zone and get with this brother who really feels you. He just happens to wear a dress. And she's like, okay, I guess I could try that. So we'll see how it goes with that. So we jump back over to Luca's place where Aaron and the guys are, and they're talking. And he's telling them, like, hey, man, you were the one that was always interfering with my relationship with Zoey. Every time something happened, you was always right there. And Luca's like, you're a hypocrite. You basically are saying the same thing that I did to you. And you don't even see that, You was always around helping her with different things. And you happen to just pick her up and take her to the airport right after we broke up. So you ain't even see the error of your own ways in my relationship with her when we were together. So Aaron is like listening to him. He's listening, and he's like, man, he's actually making some sense here. Because now that I think about it, I was kind of right there being the homie, but really just in the background, just in case something happened or went down. He's like, and Luca's like, yo, you should have checked your own self, buddy. The whole time I was with Zoey, you was popping up and doing stuff for her, making her look at you differently. And he's like, you know what? he's got a point. You actually kind of right. So he's like, all right, man, I'm sorry. He apologizes to him, and the guys are all happy, and they're thinking everything's all resolved. They're like, okay, cool, because we got a trip to Catalina coming up. We gonna have such a good time. It's not gonna be awkward anymore. And Doug is like, well, since we coming clean with everything, I might as well go ahead and tell you something. And they're like, no, bro, no. And he goes and tells them, hey, me and your sister was smashing. And he's like, no, Vivek is in the back like, I can't believe he just told him that. And Luca's like, what you mean y'all smashing? What you mean? Aaron takes a whole drink. He knocks a whole drink back. So Luca's like, what you mean? Tell me what you talking about. So obviously he tells him the truth. And as you can see, Lucas takes a whole chunk out of his face and socks him too. He got a bag of ice on his face. He holding a bag of ice on his hands. So clearly he didn't take that information too well. But Doug is explaining to him like, yo, I really like your sister. Like, we really are like in a good spot together. And Lucas like, hey man, look, you gonna do what you do. If y'all really like each other, cool. If that y'all grown adults, y'all do what y'all do. I'm not gonna be involved, whatever. And he's like, but you can get out of my house. So he was mad at him, but he was like, y'all can go. And he kicks him out the house. So now we're gonna go back over to Vivek and Ana. So Vivek runs over to meet Ana, and Anna's telling him, yo, you can't be sending me bouquets of flowers and stuff. Like, we're not in a relationship. This is not a thing like we had, but it's only one time. And he's like, but it was so good. Like, it needs to keep going. And she's like, you're not hearing me. So she leaves him at the table. She just completely walks away. So now we jump back over to Nomi, and she gets a phone call from Phil. Phil is calling as she's putting Luna down. And look at how sweet and innocent little Luna. She just got so big, I can't get over it. But anyway, she goes back and she listens to a voicemail from Phil, and he's saying, hey, let's meet up and talk, whatever. And she's responding in different ways. First, she was like, I got your voicemail. And then she turns around and says, F you. But she erased that. She didn't send that to him. She just didn't respond at all. So then we have Jazz getting a text message from her dude, Dez. And he's telling her he wants to take her somewhere. And she starts to respond, but then she decides not to. I wonder what she was really going to say or what was on her mind. What do you think? Drop in the comments what you think she was thinking or what she wanted to respond with. So now we're going to jump over to Zoey having the conversation with Aaron. She explains to him like, hey, look, I understand that I didn't consider your feelings when I took the internship with Luca. And he's like, it's cool, but I feel like I don't want to stand in your way. I don't want to be the boyfriend that stands in the way of your career. Like, I know that you really want to work for that for that company with Luca and everything. He's being understanding of that point, but then he's like, I think I should just remove myself from the situation altogether, because it's just every time I see you with him, I feel some type of way, and I don't want to feel like that. And she's like, but nothing is going on between me and Luca. I don't understand why you're leaving me or why we have to break up behind this. She's listening to him, but at the same time, she just can't understand it. Her heart is being broken in this very moment. She's just like, I don't understand why you feel like we have to break up. And he's like, I don't want to break up, but I know that I have to do some soul searching on my own, because this is something that I can't handle. It's something within me that I can't handle. And so at that moment, she gets really mad. She gets pissed. She gets up and she says, F you. And she walks out of the room. She was thinking about what to say because she was so devastated. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. And she was like, you know what? Just whatever. F you. And she walks away. And he's just sitting there. So then we come to the end of the show where Jazz actually finds the note that was left in the bouquet of flowers and asks Vivek about it. They're all sitting there like, what in the world is going on? So he finally, at first he denied it or didn't want to come clean, but he went on and told him. He was like, nah, nothing's going on. You know, it was just something I did for her. It was really nice. And then he tries to like downplay it and everything, but they're staring him right in the face. So he runs off. He runs back in the room and he's like, yeah, okay, we did something. And they're just all like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Ana and Vivek gonna be a thing? Because he's looking pretty stoked right here. I think he thinks there's gonna be more to it, but we don't know. We shall see. Until the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. You're watching Tifffinity TV.
To infinity and beyond!